Adam Sosnick just tried to use my brother in arms in the military as a human shield to win a debate against Dave Smith. While Adam was defending the brass, Pete Hegseth was just firing them. And as a vet, I have a word about that.
I'm defending the military right now. You're basically saying that all our boys that go to the military are all terrorists. That's what you're saying.
No.
You're equating that the United States of America, the IDF, are the equivalent of ISIS and Al Qaeda. By the way, I also used to respect you until you went on a little podcast called Coleman Hughes. What happened on that podcast, Dave? This is the problem. I'll tell you a quick story.
Why don't you do it right now, Adam? Why don't you do it?
And this is the problem right here. Adam is going to go talk about another podcast, and Dave is just having a field day. He is. Adam has no clue on how to perform on this particular debate. It just is what it is. As a vet, this is a very, very hard watch, to be honest. You have Dave Smith on one side calling the U.S. a terrorist regime, which I flat out reject. And listen, we can disagree. In this channel is to have a conversation, to agree, disagree, and have that conversation. I totally disagree. First of all, I was a member of the military. Of course, I wasn't a Green Beret. I wasn't Special Forces. I wasn't Rangers. I was just an enlisted soldier. But I was in the grunt. I was on the ground. It's a spoon. I was down there, and I got trained in the military. And nobody trained me to go and kill civilians. Matter of fact, they trained me to avoid that, at all costs, almost putting our own lives, military lives, in jeopardy. Do we make mistakes? Of course we do. And we should be held to account. And if we attacked a little girl's school, I draw the line when it comes to that. We attacked a little girl's school. We bombed them. We can see the Tomahawk flying down and exploding everybody in that little girl's school. And I denounce that. I criticize that. Everybody that was in charge of that operation should be held accountable and should be living in Fort Leavenworth for the rest of their lives if need be. I don't have any allegiance to anybody that does wrong. It's just that simple. So as I mentioned, you got Dave Smith on one side calling us terrorists, and you got Adam Sosnick on the other side, who thinks defending the military means ignoring every massive mistake the Pentagon makes. And that is blasphemy. That is stupid. If you make a mistake as big as bombing a little girl's school, you need to go to prison. You need to be living in the military's prison, Fort Leavenworth, for your entire life. It's that easy. Well, Adam was busy throwing personal insults and calling Dave a tough guy. Pete Hegseth was just firing the Army Chief of Staff. The whole entire thing, basically. The war is going on in Iran, and while civilians are arguing about mean words, about other podcasts, the brass is getting purged. So let's go back to the part where Adam talks about defending the boys.
Defending the military right now. You're basically saying that all our boys that go to the military are all terrorists. That's what you're saying.
No.
You're equating that the United States of America, the IDF, are the equivalent of ISIS and Al Qaeda. By the way, also...
Hold on. Pause it right there. Let's stop the nonsense. Stop using the boys as a shield. When we criticize the military leadership, we aren't talking about a sergeant on the ground or a specialist on the ground or the pilot in the air. We're talking about the generals who oversee 20 years of failed policy that have taken us to another war for no reason whatsoever, because there's no legitimate proof that Iran had nuclear weapons and that they try to attack us. I'm also not going to buy the excuse saying that the Ayatollah put something in the Quran saying that nuclear weapons are evil and all that nonsense, because I could care less. The Ayatollah is a terrorist maniac, so I'm not going to trust him either. But I'm not going to buy this nonsense that we're defending the boys. Adam's problem was that he didn't have an argument. So he defaulted to, you hate America. That's the oldest trick in the book. Supporting the troops means holding the leadership accountable. So those troops are wasted in another 2-week, quote unquote, war that turns into 10 years. So if you don't demand accountability, you are the one following the troops. It's that simple. I don't buy Lindsey Graham's 2 to 3 week crap. He said 2 to 3 weeks in one video with Megyn Kelly and them reacting to it. I swear he said 2 to 3 weeks 20 times in that video. I'm not buying that narrative. And look at the names that Hegseth just sacked from the military. General Randy George, as we mentioned, Army Chief of Staff, General David Hodney, and Major General William Green Jr., the Chief of the Chaplains. First of all, why are we firing the Chief of the Chaplains? What's wrong with that? What's he not doing? Is he not keeping the faith going amongst U.S. troops? Maybe that's a sackable offense. I don't know. Happy Easter, by the way, and God bless to all of you. Why does this matter? Why are we talking about this? Why all of a sudden this is big news? Because while Adam Sosnick is telling us that everything is fine and check the scoreboard, you know, as if that's some type of argument, it looks like the Secretary of Defense is literally, or Secretary of War now, saying the current leadership isn't good enough. Maybe we're moving towards a warrior ethos and away from the political brass that Adam is so desperate to protect. Adam is defending a system that even the current Pentagon is trying to burn down. On the other hand, my fellow Americans that love Dave Smith, and listen, I think he's a smart guy. He makes a lot of great points, and he's really good. And oh, God bless him for his success. On one thing, I'm not going to agree that the U.S. is a terrorist group. We make mistakes versus terrorism. That distinction is key, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be very clear on what terrorists are. They intend to kill civilians for politics. That isn't us. But Adam is also so wrong for acting like we're perfect. We made massive mistakes. The withdrawal in Afghanistan to the current strikes in Iran that are hitting the wrong targets, that killed a little girl's school for God's sake. What are we doing here? Folks, the fact of the matter is, real patriotism isn't insulting people who point out flaws. Real patriotism is fixing the flaws so we don't keep making the same mistakes. Adam Sosnick lost that debate because he brought a personal insult to a factual fight. I'm telling you, we need more Dave Smith style commentary. Although I disagree with him, he makes his points across, and it's good to have that engagement, to have those discussions that the good old Charlie Kirk always advocated for. And we certainly need less of that Adam Sosnick style worship that helps nobody. It makes zero sense. Hey, thank you for watching. My name is Chris Rodriguez, veteran Uncensored, former enlisted U.S. soldier. Thank you very much. If you like what you see, don't forget that you can check out more videos here. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to smash that like button and hit the bell for notifications, and stay tuned because we upload videos every single day. Thank you very much. God bless.